So hello guys, and welcome to another episode of Question Block. And the last question was, what is your favorite hub world in a video game? So hub worlds kind of bring the game together, tie in different levels and areas of the game, and a lot of the time they can have a lot of personality and add a lot to a game. So yeah, there are a lot of great hub worlds, but I will be discussing the responses to the question here. So let's go ahead and look at some people's favorite hub worlds. So Wario Dude said Waddle Dee Town. It's so cute seeing the Waddle Dees do day-to-day stuff like watering flowers. When you attack them, they dramatically kneel over, then pop back up. It's much more charming than the main menus in other Kirby titles, and I hope they keep doing that. Yeah, Waddle Dee Town was great. Like you said, it had a lot of personality with the different Waddle Dees, and they also kind of incorporated many elements of a Kirby game that would normally be accessed behind different menus. Like, with the different sub-games are actually different things around the town, and they're, like different things such as fishing, running a fast food restaurant, and then there's one with like this tilt and roll mini game, which is kind of referencing Kirby Tilt and Tumble a little bit since you're using the gyro. They also have the arena there. They kind of have that in the middle, or kind of on the top of Waddle Dee Town. And then even the sound test is like a band with Waddle Dees playing the music and everything. And then there's like a theater to watch cutscenes. It's such like a really immersive way of implementing the different elements that you would normally see in a Kirby game. It's really cool, and I really like it overall. And another aspect of Waddle Dee Town that I like is the fact that it kind of builds up over the course of the game. When you get more Waddle Dees, it kind of grows and expands over time. So it's just really cool overall, and Waddle Dee Town is definitely up there as one of my personal favorite hub worlds in a video game. I just really like how it was handled, and I really hope they do more things like this in the future. Boffle the Great 64 said, I have a particular fondness for Flipside and Flopside from Super Paper Mario. They really tie into this game's theming, which I adore already, amazingly, and while their layouts are very different from what came before or after, I don't know, I really love basically everything about them. Also gotta give credit to Roadport for being probably the most fleshed out town in any Mario game, and incorporating so many different species and NPCs naturally. Finally, Bean Bean Castle Town, and the castle itself, from Superstar Saga, is such a fun location. I miss the Bean Bean Kingdom in general, and really wish we could visit there again in a new adventure. It feels so bitter that at no point has its proximity to the Mushroom Kingdom gotten even a background reference through so many games and now movies that show the world around the Mushroom Kingdom. Yeah, I agree with all of those. I really like the hub worlds in the older Mario RPGs especially. Flipside and Flopside definitely are very unique and are very unexpected, or not something that you would expect to see in a Mario game, which kind of ties into Super Paper Mario's general scope. So I think it's really cool and unique. Aesthetic there is just really nice, and even though its structure is a lot different from the other Paper Mario games, kind of accessing the different chapters through like doors there, that very different from like the other games, it still does have a lot of the core elements that we saw in Toad Town and Paper Mario 64, and then Roadport and Thousand Year Door, through like different things, such as like Merlin, and then the cooking area, the different shops, and then the fact that like it is a hub world in general and does connect the different areas of the game in kind of somewhat interesting ways. So yeah, I feel like it is a pretty unique and interesting hub world. And then with Roadport is actually my personal favorite. Like you said, it has so many different NPCs and different species there that really flesh it out, and I really like the kind of uniqueness that it has. And I mean, it's kind of a different, unique style than Flipside and Flopside, because it is actually more grounded in the Mario universe, since it has more like Mario species, and I really like that it kind of makes the Mario species more unique and kind of makes them feel like actual NPC species that you would find in like Zelda or Xenoblade or any other RPG or I guess large scale action adventure game. So yeah, I just really like Rogueport overall. And then I also really like the different elements of Rogueport, like kind of like almost like flip side and flop side, how there's different things you can do. Like you can activate different side quests, do different mini games, and yeah, and then I also like how there's like different vehicles connecting the different areas, like the blimp that goes up to Glitzville, and then the train that goes to Poshley Heights. I think that's pretty cool, and the Rogueport sewers are also great as well. I know some people are a bit critical of kind of the worlds connecting through pipes, but I personally don't mind it. I kind of like the Rogueport sewers and the fact that they're kind of like ancient ruins that are kind of under the city and everything. I think that's pretty cool. It kind of adds to the lore of the game. And then also the fact that Rogueport is kind of like a rundown town with a lot of crime. It's very different than what you'd see in like other Mario games. So I really like that aesthetic overall. And then Bean Bean Castletown is also nice as well. There's a lot of things to do there. I like the that one coffee shop side quest that's there. That's definitely pretty fun, and getting like the EGAD cameo there, and then also the castle as well, and the different events that happen there during the story. Definitely a really cool location. And then the Beanbang Kingdom in general is just really cool. Like there's so many cool locations there. Like the Woohoo University, and then the place where the Chuckle Cola is, and the airport. There's just so many really cool locations there, and like you said, I really wish they fleshed it out more in other games. I mean, they fleshed it out pretty well in Superstar Saga, but I wish they had more appearances and everything, because I feel like it has a lot of potential, and it would just really be nice to see it return in like another Mario RPG, or maybe even a Kingdom in Odyssey 2 if that was to happen, or like a track in a future Mario Kart game, similar to how Yoshi's Island was, kind of referencing that game. I would like to see like a faithful adaptation of the Bean Bean Kingdom in Mario Kart. But yeah, the Bean Bean Kingdom is just really cool overall, and I really wish it was referenced more, because like you said, it's like really close to the Mushroom Kingdom. So, Haribo2323 said, Gruntilda's Lair. Yeah, that is another one that I really like. And I definitely expected someone to say that here, because that is definitely a really iconic hub world. I feel like it's definitely up there with Peach's Castle as one of the most iconic Nintendo 64 hub worlds. Like, it's just really cool how you like kind of progress through it. You just kind of go into these different kind of themed locations throughout it, and then kind of go into these different areas. The way you unlock the different worlds in Banjo-Kazooie is really cool. And yeah, I just really like it overall, like how you progress through the lair and everything. It almost seems like it's an entirely different level in itself, like with how you progress through it and everything. It's just really cool, and it has a lot of personality. So yeah, definitely one of my favorites as well. So, Jack Attack Gaming said, easily Comet Observatory from Mario Galaxy 1. Starship Mario is a close second. But for starters, I really like how it was themed around household rooms, such as the library and kitchen. Secondly, the music is fantastic and has this orchestral feel to it, but still has some spacey stuff too. And all the fun characters like the Toad Brigade, all the Lumas, is what ties it all together, is Rosalina's storybook, giving this grand adventure some well-earned emotion. Yeah, Comet Observatory, I know I'm saying a lot of these are up there, but yeah, that's definitely another one that I really like. Just due to the fact that it's kind of, like, it kind of is basically Rosalina's home, with the fact that it has so many different areas themed around different rooms. I always thought that was cool. It's almost like a space version of Peach's Castle. Like, that's kind of always how I interpreted it. Because Peach's Castle has, like, even though um, it's very simple with Peach's Castle and Mario 64, but you could tell that the different areas of the castle were kind of, like, representing different things, very loosely. But, the Comet Observatory kind of takes that idea and expands it a lot, since you unlock the different areas in a similar fashion to Peach's Castle, but you also have, like, they're also themed in a much more interesting way, and kind of expands upon that, living castle idea. And then it also has a lot of the NPCs as well, which flesh it out, like, especially the Lumas and everything. I think it's definitely a pretty iconic location, and it's just really cool. It definitely is a kind of unique take on Peach's Castle, but it's like, I know it's like a completely different location, but I feel like it's taking a lot of the core aspects of Peach's Castle and kind of expands upon it and makes it even better. So, Masked Mastermind said, not sure if this counts, but I really like the StreetPass Mii Plaza. It has so much charm and life put into its design, and was a big part of my childhood. It also reminds me of the good old late 2000s and early 2010s era of Nintendo, back when Miis were a big focus, and their consoles had a lot of charm put into them. It didn't feel soulless like how the Switch does. Yeah, the StreetPass Mii Plaza was really cool. I just really like the amount of features that it had and everything, and I used it a lot during the early to mid 2010s. Like, when I went on trips, I always took my 3DS with me and kind of kept it on and everything, just to make sure I got, like, StreetPass notifications. I got them from throughout the United States and everything, and I thought that was really cool to see, like, different people from a lot of different places, and the fact that there were, like, different games on there. Like, I like filling out the different puzzles. Like, there were, like, 3D puzzles on there. I mean, I don't think most of us got around to completing all of them, but it was cool to see some of them. I think I got the one for Pikmin, as well as Mario Galaxy, and a couple others. I thought that was pretty cool, but yeah, the StreetPass Mii Plaza was great. And then I forgot to mention, there was also Find Me as well, which was a pretty cool game. And then there was also, like, the updates as well that added a bunch of different games to it. But yeah, the Mii Plaza was a really cool part of the 3DS. And I wish more people used their 3DS nowadays. I mean, it kind of makes sense why a lot of people wouldn't, but I wish more people would still kind of kept their 3DS on, so I could I could get StreetPass additions to the Mii Plaza and everything. But yeah. So Devin said, probably the Artisans world from Spyro 1. It does a really good job as establishing the world of dragons, giving you a wide area to try to learn Spyro's moveset, and the music is wonderful. Stuart Copeland did a phenomenal job with the classic Spyro soundtracks, but Artisans has to be my favorite theme. Yeah, I haven't actually played Spyro, but I have seen, like, a lot of gameplay footage of it, and I really like the aesthetic of the game overall, like, especially, like, Spyro 1 and everything. But yeah, I really like the idea of, like, a hub world, kind of letting you use your moveset and kind of let you, kind of experiment with it and kind of learn the moveset of the game. An example of a game that I have played that does that is Mario Sunshine, since that kind of, like, a lot of the areas you can only reach using FLUDD, and also Mario's abilities in the game. So, I really like how some hub worlds, like, let you, kind of focus on your moveset and kind of practice your moveset before going into levels. I think that's a pretty good idea, and it definitely works for games like that. So yeah. Cool said, might not be related to the question, but I think Tears of the Kingdom's Lookout Landing is pretty good as a hub world for starting players. But the fact that Lookout Landing gets improved by just doing stuff that's related to the story or side quests, again, might not be a hub world, but a good place to call it one. You know, I would actually call Lookout Landing a hub world, Because, I mean, I've visited it a lot throughout my playthrough of Tears of the Kingdom. I mean, it's definitely an essential location in Tears of the Kingdom that you kind of have to visit multiple times throughout the story. You'll probably end up spending a lot of time there, as it has, like, a lot of things to do, and it's a very convenient location. Like, that was basically the main place where I upgraded my battery power, because that was, like, the closest one to, any of my, spawn points that I had. So, yeah, I feel like I would definitely consider that a hub world with how important it is in the game. And like you said, I really like how it kind of grows and expands throughout the course of the story. Reminds me a little bit of how Terrytown is built in Breath of the Wild. Not quite on the scale of that, but it is a really nice location for like a hub world. And I would definitely call it a hub world due to its importance in the story and the fact that you kind of have to go there a lot, like especially if you want to kind of unlock a lot of your abilities, progress the main story, and different things like that. And also the fact that it has a tower there is very convenient. I think it's like really the only town that has like a tower built into it, which I think is pretty cool because the town is basically built off of Sheikah Tech, and it's one of the few areas of the game that's focused around Sheikah Tech. So I think it's pretty cool overall, and definitely one of the interesting new locations in Tears of the Kingdom. So yeah, anyways, those were the responses to the last question. So the next question is pretty interesting since it has to do with a series that is seemingly dead. But basically, if the Mario and Luigi series ever returned, how do you think it will be handled in terms of both developers and ideas for the game? Let me know down in the comments. So anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more, and make sure to check out my Discord server if you want to. Goodbye.